Thanks to Events DC, we're able to take you behind the scenes on food, culture, and community right here in DC. They're helping make this podcast possible and helping shape the future of our city at the same time. Check out eventsdc.com to see what they're cooking up.
Order up, guys. Another episode of In the Weeds podcast with Chef Spike Mendelsohn.
Today's guest has cooked for the Obamas, battled an Iron Chef, and helped shape the soul of American food, all while still finding time to open restaurants faster than most of us can make a reservation. He's got James Beard bling, an Emmy on the shelf, and a stack of books with his name on the cover. From your TV screen to restaurants around the world, including his latest DC hotspot, please welcome a culinary legend and activist with flavor and probably the only chef that can out-fedora me, Chef Marcus Samuelsson.
That was a good intro. Thank you for having me.
Listen,
that was fun.
Your style is unmatched, my friend.
Yeah.
We know that in the industry.
Yeah.
You got a little coffee here.
I'm good.
We got some tea, some water, all the hydration. Chef, it's a pleasure to have you on.
I'm so excited to be here, Spike. I mean, to be here in these facilities, to watch what, in times like this, we need positive things, right? And just entering this building with a DC Central Kitchen, it was just positive. It was just love all over. And I hope so many chefs get the chance to come on the podcast, but also just to walk the space and figure out how to participate. Because that's, whatever is happening, that's amazing.
Well, they finally, and I mean, I love that you love the history and that we actually giving a little congrats to the DC Central Kitchen, because you know where they came from. They came from like a decrepit little warehouse in the middle of nowhere where, and they've built this amazing facility. Our listeners don't get to see this, but, what does happen at DC Central Kitchen is absolutely amazing. They take formerly incarcerated people, put them through a culinary training, give them like a second, even third, maybe fourth chance at life sometimes. And all the while they get these culinary, the cool thing is like while they're teaching them, they get to feed the homeless. Yeah. And now they're even, I don't even know, but they told you the program that they're feeding schools. They're doing healthy meals. So it's not only about just feeding homeless or just the food deserts, they're actually providing nutritional meals for schools now. So it's like, it's incredible.
And I think programs like this is the path forward, right? As we know that programs are going to be cut and it's going to hit the poorest and people are vulnerable. So the other side has to figure out how to navigate until we got a new system, because we all know what's coming, right? So the fact that programs like this support SNAP and provides more dollars and we just got to figure it out like this.
Yeah. You come from humble. I mean, more than a lot of these other chefs in the humble beginnings you come from. I was reading about your background, but I think it's interesting what you said. It's like with the world, the state of the world right now, you need these good feeling stories to inspire people. What I love about what they do here specifically, and then we'll move on because I want to get to you, is that most food aid is kind of cripples the ecosystem, right? Because it's just kind of like a drop off. What I love what they're doing here is they're teaching actual people a trait to get out there and cook and like open up businesses and job placement. I think that's the best you can ever do. I do a lot of food aid internationally, and the best type is when you go in there and you teach on how they can sustain on their own, not just drop off. So I think it's...
the trend that never changes is that cooks are needed everywhere. Everywhere, at all times.
More needed than now. They're all going to Amazon, and we're losing chefs like every day, guys, by the hundreds.
Yeah.
But Marcus, tell me a little bit about I want you've done so much in this business, but I want to cover your background a little bit,
sure.
like where you came from, where it all started. Like tell us a little bit. You're originally from Sweden.
Yeah, originally from Ethiopia.
Ethiopia, okay.
Yeah. From a tiny hut, about half the size of I would say it's like where I was born. It's like an 8-top in a restaurant. That's like for us.
Yeah.
Like we get from there, like it's round and it's like
the building,
And when I not every year, but often I take my family, and even myself when I pull up to the place, it gives me chills.
You go back. Yeah.
How did we get out of here? I know it wasn't because of me, because I was just a little kid, but my sister was a huge part of that, and my mom that passed away was a big part of that. But when you see something like that, you realize how extremely lucky you are, right?
Yeah.
And then the journey that my mom took us on, she passed away because she had tuberculosis. Me and my sister had tuberculosis. But also the goodness of others. Like there was a nurse at the hospital she took us to.
Yeah.
That I'm not saying people should do this, but she took us because she knew that what's going to happen with these kids, we can't just put them back on the street. There's no one coming for them. So she literally, 3 kids on her own, she just grabbed us, walked out, took us home.
You're giving me goosebumps right
Yeah.
now. So when your mother passed away in the hospital, this nurse that was there took you guys in as our own family.
And then she set us up. She's like, I think you guys going to stay with us until I'll set you up with an adoption. She walked around, Addis found an adoption agency.
Yeah.
And sent us to Sweden. But like moments like that, right? Like it's like, it's crazy.
That's heavy.
Yeah, it's heavy.
That's heavy. It's funny, I just was talking to my son about the value, of, where the dealt that you're handed in life. And I was trying to explain to him because like all he knows is what he has now.
Yeah,
that we've worked really hard for,
Yeah.
right? My wife and I, and like we've set him up great. He's got all the opportunities in the world. But we were trying to explain to him that not everybody has the same opportunities that you have, man. I was like, man, you were born into a lot of opportunities. And I was trying to show him, I gave him a line. I was like, all these kids have been born without opportunities and they have to work 100 times harder to get out to have the opportunities that you have. So it was just kind of like a moment.
And what did he say? Like, how did he respond?
Quite well, to be honest with you. My kid's a little bit of an old soul, and so
sweet.
Yeah, and he's a really sweet kid, and he cares. The part that I'm trying to fix is just the normal kid part.
Yeah,
of
course.
Hey, and it's not even fixing. It's just me realizing that if you want to play soccer, man, this kid that wants to play soccer, he has one soccer ball.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get anything else in life.
Yeah.
And that's everything he has. And it's a torn up, beat up soccer ball. I was like, you have 10 soccer balls, dude. You know what I mean? And so just trying to give him a little bit of inspiration of to realize take advantage of your moment, and so we'll see if it works.
Yeah.
but you're basically born in a hut. You're how do you get tuberculosis? Can you tell,
back in the day in Ethiopia, it is still a pretty big issue on the continent of Africa. But back then, it was really running rapid. It was really a lot of kids had it.
Yeah.
And it's a lung disease, and you get flooding lung. It's really, really bad, and tons of kids still died from it, from millions of kids.
Yeah.
But so my mom, my sister, and I had it. We got cured. She didn't, and I went from the warmest country in the world to the coldest country in the world. I went from eating injera and berbere to herring and potatoes,
Yeah.
But, I was always surrounded with love, you know what I mean? In many ways, the way we were adopted, the fact that it set us up for living in a place like New York that is super diverse, right? Our cousins were Koreans, my parents are white, my other cousins were French Canadian.
Yeah.
Our auntie's Jewish.
Forget those French Canadians.
You know what I mean? So the Samuelsson tribe, we just looked different.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
And it didn't matter who you were. You come in we have one of everything, so we can figure it out, right? So, but for us, it was just that's how my cousins, that's how we rolled, and it was just we were that odd family that always looked different.
Yeah.
But we had also a ton of fun, with that, giving each other shit and, just being on top of each other. Yeah.
So is your sister older?
Yeah, both my sisters are older.
Both your sisters are older, so there's 3 of you.
Yeah. But 2 of us got adopted from Ethiopia, and my other sister was born in Jamaica. It was born in Sweden out of Jamaican parents, but also adopted.
Also adopted. Oh, okay. And so what age were you about now when you headed to Sweden?
So that's the thing. I have no I had no birth certificate.
So you don't really,
you can pick a birthday.
So you never know. So just pick a day.
This is this is my dad in a nutshell, right? Yeah. Picks up his kids. It's about 20-minute drive from the airport to home. All right, we're gonna give them names. And my mom's like, okay, gotta be international names. Get the black kid, so they might not say Linda and Marcus. Okay, check. Not even checking with mom. Linda and Marcus, that's it. Also birthdays. Oh, they arrived. Okay, today's May 6th. All right, today's the big ones. 6 months later is the little ones. Yeah. So November 6th was my birthday. Time for lunch.
That's crazy. So just document it like that.
Yeah.
I kind of love that.
Yeah.
All right. So like, what's your food culture? So you moved to Sweden pretty young.
Yeah.
And so it must be, I mean, amazing opportunity, but it must be somewhat confusing at times a little bit.
Yeah.
And
cold.
And cold. Cold, right? It was, like, was that the big shocker? That's what you remember? You're like, what is going on? Why did these people adopt me? Why am I here?
My mom, the stories, I mean, we don't even remember the stories my parents told me, like when it snowed for the first time, we didn't know if we could eat it. Like we had watching this, mid-70s kids, black kids in Sweden, like running out just because it's,
for the very first time.
For the very first time, But, of course, we grew up there, so we do everything like our Canadian cousins did. We played hockey, we played soccer, we skied, we did all of, you just grow up, you're a kid of wherever you grow up, right?
Totally.
Whatever the other kids
you're
are doing, you're doing
that.
it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
I didn't know you played hockey. We have to get on the ice together.
I would be the worst Swedish player, but probably the best Ethiopian player.
We just lost a great Swedish player, a good friend of mine. You probably know Nick Backstrom. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he moved back to Sweden.
Yeah.
He just left us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of good Swedish hockey players.
Got a lot of good guys.
Peter Forsberg back in the day.
Oh, Peter Forsberg.
That's a whole other podcast.
He's a legend.
Yeah.
All right, but like, what's the cooking vibes with your family? Like, was there a certain cuisine you guys were eating?
Yeah.
Were you introduced to food? Like, I love to figure out like where did food become something so important to you?
Two places, Spike. So my father had really done the journey of coming from a pretty poor fishing village. Mm-hmm. He's the son of a fisherman. There wasn't a conversation of what you did. You took over, or you worked on your dad's boat, or you took it over, right?
Yeah.
He actually left. He went to university, and it was like a big deal. Why would you leave here, right?
Yeah.
So watching my father's family being in the fishing industry.
When we talk about your father, biological father or adopted father?
No, adopted father.
Okay, just want to make sure. Yeah.
And but it was something about watching his uncles and everybody that, herring came in, you hung it up, you smoked it, you sold some. But it was like, there was always stuff to do, right? Fixing the boat, prepping the boat, fixing the net. We always had something to do. And it was, we were playing, but it was like work also, I got a little coin if you sold it to the tourists. Like it was the whole thing. Like I never had to ask my parents for money, ever. Like I was with my uncles, you worked for it, and they always give you coin and a couple of fishes, and you sold them, and you were good. They could buy you whatever. You
a little went a long way back.
Yeah, and then the other side was my grandmother, my Swedish grandmother Helga. She was a cook's cook. There was nothing she couldn't make.
Yeah,
right. Like she was foraging before there was Facebook.
I love that style.
She's like. Yeah. Chanterelles, we don't, but she used to go to the stores, watch what they had at the store. Okay, now we're going and getting it, right?
Yeah.
Like,
so foraging,
everything, so I had to learn, like, okay, this is lingonberries, these are too tart. Well, no, it's because we're picking them too early.
Yeah.
This is rhubarb. I bite one, and she can say like in May, and they're not ready. It's like, remember how tart they were? You picked them in mid-June. Like it was like. Everything was by learning, what I mean?
So she had a love affair with food then.
But it's also she came as a very modest background. Back in the day, she was a domestic, so cooking for her was her craft, right? So now, after she was retired, she didn't have to do that anymore. But now her skill set in life was teaching us how to cook.
Yeah.
And my sister was kind of like cool, but not really.
Yeah.
I loved it. No idea.
Oh, you mean about food?
Yeah. I just loved it. Like I was playing like. The meatballs race on Top Chef. I was doing that with my sister. My sister weren't even they couldn't care less. Yeah. I loved it. So everything we did together, I did with my grandmother, and cooking just became that thing.
Yeah. What was your favorite dish that she cooked? Do you or a couple of the dishes that you remember the most of?
I would tell you the meatballs was actually something that I realized things could taste differently.
Yeah.
So I grew up with school lunches that was pretty well done, right? Yeah. So there was meatballs at school lunch. There was meatballs sometimes at mom's house, right?
Yeah.
And there were meatballs at grandma. So 3 different versions, right?
Yeah.
The ones at school lunch was always perfectly rolled, didn't taste a lot.
Yeah.
Mom's were like sometimes good, sometimes not so good. Sometimes not cooked through, sometimes cooked through. Grandma's, that gravy, And she labored over that. She put pickle juice in that. She folded in lingonberry in the end.
Juice in it?
Yeah,
Ooh.
she folded in lingonberries. Her pickles, her cucumber had a little dill on them, right?
Yeah.
Her mashed potato was not just, it could have apples in it, it could have carrots in it, whatever root vegetable she had.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wait a minute, Mike, and my mom was always, because she does that all day. I do all these 10 other things.
Yeah, that's it. That's the shade. That's the shade.
Yeah.
She has time to make it so good. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just remember that. And on the weekends, we just ran up to grandma's house.
Yeah.
All three of us and the kids.
Is this a Swedish meatball? Is that what?
Swedish
is that what they
meatball.
call them?
Yeah.
So what makes a Swedish meatball not an Italian meatball?
It's a very, very humble beginning because the meatballs is really the dish that comes out of you don't have any meat, right?
Yeah.
You got to stretch it. So the breadcrumbs got to be.
So that's what the whole thing about it is. Okay.
So it's like whatever leftover meat. That's why they say now, veal, pork, beef. No, it's whatever you have. Yeah, whatever you had.
Yeah.
In Sweden, mostly was pork because that's what you do, especially poor people, what you had, right? So it was that, the pork, my grandma's always like, take the veal out. We don't need that. We need pork and beef, a little bit of beef.
Yeah.
And then a ton of, later on, less breadcrumbs. It was actually meat in the meatballs. But also the gravy. I mean, that's where she ruled,
Yeah.
And I remember, Spike, when I loved cooking and I treated it like a sport, right?
Yeah.
So for me, it was very simple. Okay, you got to be number one kid, you got to work hard, and it's going to happen,
That's it.
right? So I sent very early age to Japan. I used to remember coming back, or even later on, I got sent to Switzerland to work.
Well, don't skip over that.
Yeah.
How'd you get, so Swedish meatballs, family, you're in Sweden, you're loving food, you're like, pickling, smoking, cleaning fish. I would
Cleaning
assume,
ton of it,
learning
of course.
at a young age, learning how to fabricate. So you get a pretty amazing experience, food culture experience in Sweden, of all places. Which sometimes I feel like I'm so removed that you wouldn't think you would get that there, but you do.
Yeah.
And so, what inspired you? What was Japan about? Was that hey, I want to learn how to cook, or was it just, hey, I could take a trip to Japan?
No, it was really. It started with failure, like many things. I always thought I would become a soccer pro.
Yeah,
didn't happen, and it was like I'm 16. I didn't know how to take it, and my dad's like, "You got to get out of the room, man." I didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to end. I'm like, because everything was channeled through that, right?
Yeah.
Through your soccer friends and all that stuff. And he's like, you gotta shape up, man. And it's like the only other thing I liked was food and da da da. And he was a geologist and he worked with people from all over the world. So he's like, we can do an exchange program. You can go to this family and a kid is coming to us and all of that stuff. So I was an exchange student for a couple of months. Yeah. And was in Japan and it blew me away.
Really?
Not just everything. How small their apartment was, but it worked.
Yeah.
How cold it was, but they had heaters. How they'd raw fish or boiled their beef in sukiyaki, right?
Yeah.
It's everything, umami. I had no clue what is this flavor.
Yeah.
Walking with the family to do on weekends, you could do something like green tea culture. You sit on your knees and you're making matcha. All of it, right?
So how old were you when this is happening?
17.
So how are you communicating in
English and this and
your hands, just worldly style communicating.
And I knew after that, whatever this was, I'm doing that.
Yeah.
Right. So I got back, worked in Sweden, in Gothenburg, a decent Italian restaurant.
Yeah.
Learned how to make pasta.
Was that your first job?
Kind of, sort of. And the chef there says hey, you really like this. I'm going to send you to this, the grandest hotel in Gothenburg. You're gonna work there because there are enough guys there that's going to figure you out.
Yeah.
Because the cooking school for me, that wasn't it. They were having food wars and I wanted to cook and it's what am I doing here?
Yeah, you didn't want to mess around.
So I got to this hotel, Park Avenue, and there was tons of mentors. You know, they were old guys. They were
this is in Sweden?
In Sweden, Gothenburg.
Okay.
And they were 30, you know what I mean? These
were
old people.
Older guys.
Yeah, older guys.
And you were 17, 18?
18. And they were they saw that I really loved it. So I started in the fish cleanery shop. And they'd never seen a kid. I was this is what I've done with my uncle since I was 11.
Yeah.
Give me everything. Give me everything. It's no problem. And then they sent me to the butcher shop.
Yeah.
I'm I've done this with my grandmother.
Yeah.
And they're like, I wanted to get on the line. And they're
Yeah.
like, wait a minute, not so fast. But eventually I became like third coming on the line or something like that.
Don't you love fabrication?
Oh my God.
Like, isn't it like the art of butchery of fish or whatever it is? It's such a good skill.
And it's also calming. Once you do it, you got to be in control and you can't go too fast.
Yeah.
And so I just got my education, true education there. And like, for me, my education was lunch hour when we had our break, not when the service was.
Yeah.
And then listening to the older guys now, the oldest guy was maybe 40 or something like that. And he said, when we cooked in Paris, I said, wait a minute, what? You can go to Paris for cooking?
Yeah.
And I remember my Japan trip. I'm like, and they were like, yeah, and when we cooked in the States, I was like, what? You can go to the So I started to see that cooking was not just about being in Gothenburg.
Yeah.
You could actually go places.
Go places with it.
I'm like, whatever, sign me up.
But at that time, did you know about like the brigade system at all? Did you know about French? Like, did you like get all nerdy about it? Like, were you like learning about French chefs and techniques and like?
So basically once or twice a year, like I got a knife from my sister.
Yeah.
And I started to have books and was French, Swedish cookbooks.
Yeah.
And then eventually I got French cookbooks, real French cookbooks.
Yeah.
Right. And they were there was like Bob Marley and Prince posters, and then my cookbooks.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah. A little bit of Europe, Eurotrash, all of that stuff. Yeah,
of course.
So like so
gotta
I'm like,
balance it out.
Yeah, you gotta balance exactly. But it was like, it was just it was something about it that I love this stuff. And now meeting these guys that have traveled, and I was like, how do I get in? How do I get on?
Yeah.
And it's like, nothing. Don't say anything. Just keep on working. I was like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And then one day, one of the chefs said, hey, we have this program that we have. I used to work in Switzerland, the guy. I can send you to Switzerland. I was like, sign me up. He's like, no, you're not ready. I said, well, no, I'm ready. I'll let you know when you're ready.
Yeah.
So I asked my dad, what does that mean? He's like, just listen to him. He's clearly got your back.
You're getting groomed.
Yeah,
basically.
but I had
a
no
little
clue.
bit. But you had no clue.
No clue.
Yeah.
So, because he wanted me to practice, learn German and French properly. So I'm like, had my son a Walkman instead of listening to Prince, and I had to like listen to German.
So you speak German and French?
German, a little bit of French, not great French, but like enough to work in French.
Yeah.
So, and that's how I got to Switzerland. And once I got to Victoria Jungfrau in Interlaken, whatever the step between going from that Italian restaurant to the local Gothenburg place to going from Gothenburg to Switzerland, it's like playing Division D basketball, and then all of a sudden you're going straight to NBA, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm ready. I want in. And they're like, you're going to start? No, 40 commies. It's like, you, Mr. Samuelsson, you're going to start in the garden. I'm like, the garden?
Not even in the kitchen.
We're not in the kitchen. I can't imagine. I was so far away from the kitchen.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad that we didn't have cell phones and pictures.
Yeah.
I was like in there, cleaning carrots.
Would you just take those opportunities as a kid, because that's your in? I mean, I remember like my first job. I mean, at least I got put in in some type of room. I wasn't in the kitchen, but I was in the basement of the kitchen. I was picking feathers off of pigeons in the north of France, and that was the thing. Boom, boom, boom.
Don't ruin that flesh.
Don't ruin the flesh.
If it's too warm,
and then you burn,
boom.
and then you have to burn the rest off, and that smell was horrible all the time. So the cuisine in Sweden that you were doing was at what level? French food. So you were learning your French techniques there from the Italian restaurant. You had a little Mediterranean, and then you went to French cuisine. It was a French or German chef?
French, but it was I learned. I knew how to make beurre blancs. I knew how to, I could saute a sole. I could, I could work with turbo. Like I knew, kind of like higher end food. A
little bit more haute cuisine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but to the level, like in Switzerland, there was, 5 restaurants in that hotel. Always, they were serving the, highest end people in the world. People coming in with dietary restrictions, all of that stuff. We had Paco jets early. Like
Paco jets.
Wow,
you must have been the first one ever,
yes,
probably.
Exactly. There were dietary sounds like, it's not just a menu.
Yeah.
It was all of these different things, right? So I was like, and then the brigade system, right? So I started in the garden, then in Garde Manger. I left from being like the lowest commie 2 years later, I was chef de no, I was not a chef de party of a station.
Chef de partie, baby. When you finally get that chef de partie, you're like,
and
yes.
I had 2 young cooks working under me.
Yeah.
And we did all in French. And he was like, the Swiss, like, if they notice that you can speak enough German, they switch to French, right?
Yeah, totally.
Then they notice that you can speak German and French, they switch to Italian, and then you're gone, right?
Like, why do they do that? You're like, just to throw you off.
Yeah.
So were you in this kitchen? Were you the only person that looked like you?
Yes.
Like you? Were you the only Ethiopian guy in this kitchen? Because I remember when I worked in the north of France, my name was L'Américaine. They called me L'Américaine, and I was Canadian. I was like, guys, I'm fucking Canadian. Like, why L'Américaine? And I was just like, but I'm not. But so whatever. I left it. But like, you must have been like the oddball.
Oh my God! But it was so. That's what I love about the kitchen, right? Like, we had one American kid, great guy, Mark, and every time he wanted to complain, it's like, it's not fair. So my roommates were Irish, and the Irish guys were always like, you should go and complain. Yeah. I said, Mark, look at me now. You do not go and complain. And one day he went to complain. We never saw Mark after that.
Never saw him again.
And I was like, and the Irish guys were all high five, get the American out of here. And I was like, please. But he was like, there were kids from all over the world. Like, we had one kid from Malaysia. We had kids from all over the world, but mostly Europe and a little bit of Japan.
Yeah.
But nothing from West Africa or Africa.
Japanese cooks and chefs for me. I mean, I've worked for a couple of them, mostly in France. I find them the most amazing to watch.
Amazing.
It's just like, they always tell you, keep your eyes open in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Like, whenever I had a Japanese chef in the kitchen, I was like always watching what they were doing, like their skill set and their precision and just they were really. So what was were you living amongst the rest of the cooks, like on property there? Like, how does it work? Like, tell people, they want to know.
I didn't live in the hotel. I can tell you that.
Yeah, you live like by the dumpsters near the hotel.
If you can Google Victoria Jungfrau, just pull it up, and you're gonna see it, right?
Yeah.
So actually, last summer I did it. It was basically 30 years or something like that since I was there, right?
Yeah.
So, the joke was, we as commies, we'd never seen a hotel room. We were not allowed to go in the front door, none of that stuff. Yeah. So the last day when I had my papers, I graduated, I walked down to the train station. I was like, screw it, I want to see a room. So I run back with my bag, and like the concierge like, what are you doing, Marcus? What are you doing? Don't come over here. We're both gonna get fired. I said, I don't care. Yeah. You can't fire me.
Yeah.
Show me your room. He's like, all right, run upstairs, and I put my foot in the room. I just peeked in and saw the bed, right?
Yeah.
And I took I was like, I've done my thing. I've seen a room.
I've seen a room.
So I called them back up and I said, like, listen, my goal was always to just stay a night.
Yeah.
So I came back 2 summers ago.
Oh, and you
flew back.
I love that.
Stayed at the room and stayed at one of the room. I was like
the
one of the happiest met chef. It's like for me, they picked me up at the train station.
Yeah.
Same guy that used to work there. It was an amazing feeling.
It's crazy how you have the lifers that are still working at the same. See, I have to do that with Le Crier because I was in the north of France. I did about a year there.
Yeah.
And I've been back once just to eat at the bistro, but I haven't been back to stay at the room and do the whole shebang.
Do the thing.
I was like, I got to bring the wife and kid and go just do the
and
thing.
Explain.
Yeah.
Like, this is what we did. This is like everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That would be a good idea.
Yeah.
So, all right. So then how do you end up in France, man? Like,
my mom and I, now I hear in the chatter boxes with the kids that are like 2 years older, 3 years older, there's such a thing, a 3-star Michelin.
Yeah.
I thought it was 1-star Michelin.
Yeah.
No, 3-star Michelin. It's Gourmet and a 3-star Michelin.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to go in a 3-star Michelin.
Yeah.
Call my dad.
The other restaurants, none of them had Michelins.
None. I mean,
that you had worked at yet.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
Not even the hot dog spot, right?
No. No.
Because by the way, you briefed over that. I was like, your first job, hot dog
spot. So I took my son back to the hot dog spot last year.
What is a Swedish hot dog?
Yeah, it's layered with a ton of stuff, and they put the shrimp salad on top of it, and really good sort of like crispy shallots on top.
Crispy shallots.
It's a hot dog, seared or boiled, shrimp salad on top.
Shrimp salad?
It makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
And then a little bit of beautiful fried shallots
Yeah.
on top of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I see. I would travel to Iceland and I
Yeah.
was eating hot dogs there every single night after
Yeah.
dinner. My wife was like, "Where are you going at 12 o'clock at night?"
You
Out
know
of the
where I'm
hotel room.
going.
I was like, I'm going to the corner.
Yeah.
She's like, "What are you gonna do?" I was
Yeah.
like, "Getting a hot dog."
Yeah. Icelandic hot dogs.
Icelandic hot dogs
Yeah.
are pretty good, but they don't have the shrimp thing on top of there.
No.
Oh, that's
So it's this thing. You're around now. The kids, they're like, they worked at a 2-star. They're from Strasbourg. They're from, not so much from Paris, but they're from all over France and
Yeah.
Germany, right? And I'm like, if France can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
It's like I'm doing it in different language. Like I felt I didn't think I was great, but I'm like, I can hang with these guys. It's like you
Yeah.
play sport. Like, we're on the same team. You
Yeah.
can do it. So my mom and I started sending letters to, 17 different, 3-star Michelin restaurants. If we get an answer, we get no.
What were some of them?
No.
You remember?
I mean, it's Alain Ducasse,
Alain
it's
Ducasse.
all of that. It's Joel Robuchon, it's all
the
of
big
that.
dogs.
Yeah, all the big dogs.
Yeah.
And eventually, I get one yes. And I was
Off a first letter? Yeah. Like to
no,
that place?
this is an 18-month process.
Yeah, totally.
And we send away a letter. My mom's like, how come they're not even replying? I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
We had somebody help us with the letter, both in English and French, all of that stuff, right? So anyway, Georges Blanc says, you can come. And
Dude,
this
of all the ones to say yes, Georges Blanc
I
says
looked
yes.
at this letter. It's like winning a gold medal at the Olympics, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, that's it. On the train, we didn't fly, so let's save all the money you can, right? So like, get on the train, 34 hours, you get on the train and
Yeah.
sleep. But it's like a journey, you know what I mean?
Oh my God.
And you always meet people on a train and all that's fun. And I get there and same step up again, right? Like this huge thing going from Switzerland where we got everything. But I saw the difference. The biggest difference between Switzerland and meeting Georges Blanc and seeing that, it's the first time I see a star chef. Georges Blanc is hands down a star chef. Like that village in Wunas, everyone works for the Blanc family.
Yeah.
Right? It's the hotel, it's the restaurant, it's the boulangerie, it's the winery down the street. It's all of it, right? And there's a helipad in the back. I'm like, a chef has a helipad? And the cooks were going because they could do lunch in Milano or dinner in Amsterdam. And I'm
really?
I need to get on that
my
helicopter. You know what I mean? Not for them to eat, to cook at.
To cook at, okay. Because I remember the only helicopters landing at the Relais Chateau I worked at was this lady used to come with her dog and eat at the 3 Michelin-star restaurant with a helicopter and dog.
Peace out.
Yeah.
So it's like, there's levels to this,
Yeah.
right? What is this? And now I'm starting to read about there's an American guy crushing it. One of my commies in France, and it started in Switzerland, and they're like, there's this guy called Wolfgang Puck. He lives in Los Angeles. He's Austrian. He's one of us.
Yeah.
He's made it in America.
Yeah.
I'm like, how's that even possible? But if he's doing it, like, give me this. Like, let me figure
go.
this out. Let me go.
Yeah.
So we're reading about Wolfgang. I met a line cook that used to work for Wolfgang. Spago, this place, Spago.
Yeah.
I somehow getting my hands on his cookbook. I was like, what? There's pizza, raw tuna, and pasta, and foie gras?
Yeah, everything. Yeah. You're like, what is going on?
What is this?
He broke all the rules.
Yes.
He broke all the rules, Wolfgang.
So I was like,
Yeah.
I'm going.
Yeah.
Like, I
but
got
what was
it.
Georges Blanc like, though? Don't skip over.
No, incredible.
It's like, were they see you in the garden, start in the garden, or like where, like
yeah, basically, but I loved it. It was, when I started on as a commie for the fish station, which like Coq Saint-Jacques, you have to, and I was like, all right, I know how to open scallops, no problem, right? So I went in early to open the scallops. Because we can get like 30 orders at the same time. And I'm like, let's pre-open them. This is a good idea.
Great idea. Send back some scallops. Why not? Oh my God.
Not a great idea.
Oh no.
So there's a lot of those moments, right?
Totally.
I remember starting at the pastry chef station. It's like, I don't want you here. I was like, okay, no problem. I'm not going to give you any recipes, and you're not going to be allowed to make any mistakes. So I'm like, it's like a moment 22, like catch 22, like what?
Yeah. What is wrong with those pastry chefs?
So And then the commis said, like, just follow him. Like, if he takes this much flour out, you take that much flour out. So you, like, figure out how to, like, if he takes that much sugar out, you take that much sugar.
And then write it down.
Write it down. So you just like,
yeah.
You're just going to ski through this shit.
Yeah.
But also you laugh because you realize he said that to everybody, right? Like in the beginning, I thought, oh, what did I do? I just started here.
Yeah.
But it's like I have so many fun moments. Like I could speak enough French to get by, but like then it was like the day off, right? When everything's going to happen. You got to drink wine at McDonald's.
Yeah.
You got to hang out with your buddies.
Yeah, totally.
And then if you're lucky, one Sunday a month, Georges Blanc put all the commis in a car, and he took us to these other 2- and 3-star restaurants.
Yeah.
From Paul Bocuse.
Oh, I love that. He would take you guys to go go experience other food.
Him and the chef de cuisine, if Chef Blanc couldn't do it. So we didn't get paid, but we got experiences that was out of this world.
He's still alive right now. He's like pushing 80 something, right? Or something.
He's crushing it.
He's still crushing it.
Yeah. So he did things. He saw us as young cooks, right? And it's moments like that. Like I just remember like not figuring out what was going to the boulangerie shop, getting my croissant. I could do all that.
Yeah.
But when it came to like washing your clothes, I'm like, is this like a... I just couldn't figure out what it was. So all my shit just got like mixed up and back. And you just like, you have no more money. So you're walking around for 3-4 months until you get a little bit of money.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just stuff like that. Like you have to figure everything out. And that's what besides the cooking, I just loved, you're like these 20 kids away from your parents. You're not allowed to quit. And you got to figure it out. And every day, and every day there's a new challenge, right?
Yeah. I mean, I love it because, I mean, I'm not trying to age myself or anything. We're not old. We're still young guys. But I don't know. I feel like there are still people doing this in the industry. I think there are still kids traveling and trying to get that experience. But I think the rate of those people, it has dropped.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot of kids are just maybe not doing that travel to Europe and maybe paying their dues and doing maybe some of this brigade or working at a
But you know what's great, Spike, is that you don't have to just go to France. You could actually go to Peru today. You can go to Colombia today.
Oh, yeah.
The world is so much bigger, and because of social media, kids are connected. So like the fact that at our time we had to go to France, couldn't be Belgium, couldn't be Germany, it had to be France, right? The fact that the world is more open, I think that's amazing. When you look at the list, South America is kicking France's butt.
Dude, the places to go work at now these days is incredible.
It's
right?
incredible.
Yeah.
So it's like, I got to look at it from that lens, because we wouldn't be in food without France. Like we wouldn't have this pop culture moment. But it means that other countries and players are involved too, and that makes for better food.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I totally agree with that.
And the French guys all knew it. Like when Blanc, because Blanc and them, Joel Robuchon, all of those guys, they had places in Singapore, they had places in Tokyo back then, and still have.
Yeah.
And they brought those semi-cooked, the raw, they brought those techniques and the discipline of the Japanese chefs. Like half the kitchen at Blanc was Japanese when I was there.
Right? Yeah.
And I loved it. I was like, all right, if you're gonna like, at least the knife skill of this guy is like 10 times better than mine. I'm like, all right, I'm standing next to this guy. You know what I mean?
What's amazing, the affinity that the Japanese have for French cooking and techniques, to be honest with you. Like there's been a lot of Japanese friends doing a lot of stints in France. Now they're all over the world, but it used to be like they really loved it over there.
But they also got paid, which we didn't, because they were like with the big hotels, and the hotels like,
totally.
You go into Georges Blanc for a year, we pay for that. So they had a little bit of flow. So when you're at the bar, the Japanese guys could pay.
Georges Blanc, what was his? It was a poulet breast, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was
beautiful
a breast
chicken
with cream and
oh my God.
What was it? It was
so it's a beautiful potato pancake, very simple.
Yeah,
beautiful potato pancake with egg whites in it.
Oh yeah,
and then the roasted, beautiful kind of like braised chicken with this beautiful, like it's a 4-pounder chicken that you sear and then you braise in cream. But it was so many dishes that I could tell. So I saw things there early. So he was the first French chef that I saw. He did beurre blanche with soy, for example.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, what's that? Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
He was very open to cook things in the microwave, like asparagus. He just undercooked them a little bit with a little bit of butter in the microwave. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. It's like, funny. The microwave cooking is...
They were so open. Sous vide, of course, already done.
Done. Yeah.
That wasn't even of course.
Yeah.
So they were open to best practice. And they didn't give a they didn't care about where it came from. You
Right.
know what I mean? Because they've traveled.
Yeah. No, I love that. And so he's actually got does he have like the oldest Michelin stars? Isn't he like the first Michelin stars restaurant? I think he's the oldest restaurant with Michelin stars.
Yeah, because it started with his grandmother.
Yeah.
And then so it's like he came into a place that already had Michelin stars, and then about keeping and evolving that.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think he also just lost. I read it. He lost his third star just last year to 2 stars. And his comment was like,
Yeah, I'm done. I mean,
and he's like,
I
really don't give a shit.
I'll tell you a funny story there was like, I was in France the years when they started to implement, like, I want to say 36-hour work week, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And you could tell like they were pissed. And we like, 36 hours, that's like by Wednesday we're done then. Like, so we're trying to make the math, right? What do you mean? Like, I'm from Monday to Wednesday, I'm already working 36 hours. Like, how's this going to add up? And then he's like, they made it very clear for him. You commies has nothing to do with you guys. You guys going to work every day. So you're not even French. You're nothing. So we had our hopes up and figured it out. We're going to go to Paris.
Yeah, you had like all the plans.
All the plans.
Yeah.
You're like,
oops, we don't get paid and we're not part of this country, so it doesn't apply.
Yes, but we had our hopes up for an hour.
Yeah, totally. So from George Ball, where do you go? Like it's such a high level place. So then where do you?
Yeah, I knew, because at that time I've done staging for 6 to 7 years, right? Yeah. And I knew I was young, but I knew I'd written down so many ideas. I had so much food in me, right?
Yeah.
I was writing food. I was like, what if I put a cheese crust on this fish? No, not a good idea, but I got to try it. You know, what if I mix this orange and fennel? Can I add Pernod? Like, I was like writing, and I was like, I need to cook this food, you know? And I used to do it for my friends at dinners, events, and we used to cook for each other. But like, it wasn't, you know, with like plastic plates and shit.
Yeah.
So I got really antsy. So I remember when the chef, I said to chef, he said, okay, Marcus, all the comments got lined up that he liked. So, okay, go home to your parents, come back in 3 months. You're going to Nice for 3 months, and then you come back up here. And I was like, actually, I can't. He doesn't even look up, right?
Yeah.
He's like, what? No. I appreciate everything, but I'm gonna bet on myself. Like I'm gonna open my own restaurant, which I didn't have. I didn't have the money. I didn't have nothing.
No, but the dream.
Yeah,
the dream.
Right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I need to be in a place where I got to do this. You know, maybe London, maybe Stockholm. I didn't know where, but like, and so he's like, okay, let me break this down for you. You can work in a restaurant. You can do very well working in a restaurant. You can never own a restaurant. There, he said, and I'm like, you're like, what? I was like, do you know any black restaurant in Europe that looks like this? I said, no. Do you know anyone in France? I said, no. And I looked at that. That's the opportunity. You know what I mean? And he's like, so there you have it. No one's going to come and support you. You can work in one.
Oh, that's what he's telling you. Wow.
Yeah, and he's like, he didn't come from a
bad place. He's just
he's
realistic.
Like, this is 1993 or 4
totally.
or whatever there was. Here's how the world looks. And you love this world. You can be part of it, but here's how you got to execute. Yeah. So he was trying to help me. And I said, okay, I'm sorry, chef. Let me go home and think about it. He's like, don't think too long. I'm into line out the door, kids, you know?
Yeah.
I called my dad. He said, just get on the train. I was like, what do you mean? No, get on the train. We'll talk about it when you get home. I get home. He's like, so do you know anyone in New York? I said, I do. There's a Swedish restaurant there. Do you think you can get a job? I was like, yeah, Dad. You know, we've done this now. Like, I actually have a very good resume.
Yeah.
It's like, do you know anyone? I said, yeah, I know this sous chef. I'm going to call him. I called him the next day. He's like, Marcus, you kidding me? You want to come? Okay. I said, let me speak to chef. We'll set it up. It takes a while with the papers, but we can set it up for you. And my dad's like, you know, they had a black mayor in New York. If so many people voted for a black mayor, one day they're going to support a black-owned restaurant. I don't know where, but it's like if they did it in New York, open your restaurant in New York. Yeah. That was like his piece of advice. Now go.
Yeah.
I came to Aquavit as a sous chef, and I loved it. I loved being in New York. I loved having my 5 roommates.
Totally. In one room.
Yeah, in one room, but like, you know, we had fun.
What was when you went to go work at Aquavit, what was Aquavit at that moment? Had it received accolades? Had it received any stars or anything like that at that time?
It was down, but it was on its way up.
Okay.
Right? So it's in this beautiful Rockefeller mansion on townhouse on 54th Street. It opened with a bang, but it got faded a little bit.
Yeah.
But they had this new young chef, Jan Sendel, that came from Bobby Flay, and he was Swedish, but he cooked kind of like Southwestern, little Asian influenced.
From Bobby Flay?
From Bobby, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wow, okay.
So, and Mesa Grill, you know.
Yeah, totally.
So, and I loved working for Jan because he was not traditional French, Swedish, or anything like. He's like, no. Like, and he loved the fact that I'd been to Singapore at that point, been to Japan. He's like, oh, who's this kid? You're like, come over here, you know? But then 3 weeks into it, he dies. So it's like...
From like just something bad?
90s, party too hard.
Yeah.
You know, just horrible.
Jeez.
He's horrible. And
he's a young guy.
He's 31, 32.
Just the beginning of his career.
Yeah. Right. You know, I knew people partying and stuff like that, but like nobody
dies from partying,
you know?
right?
No,
yeah.
Exactly. You have fun. It's supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
Right. So he was, for the restaurant, for his family, for all of us, he was like, well, like it was horrible in every sense. So with Jan came another Mesa Grill guy, Larry Manheim, that is just been with Bobby forever, but it's a New Yorker, true New Yorker from the Bronx. You know, you can't pass anything through Larry, right?
Yeah.
He just didn't know Swedish food, and Larry looked at me. He was like much older. He's like, all right, here's how this is gonna go. You do the Swedish stuff, I'll take care of everything else.
You do the Swedish stuff.
And I'm like, I don't even know if I want to be here. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I lost he's from the Bronx. You grew up in the 70s, you know, like lost a
He's
lot
like,
of people.
I'm not fucking asking you.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. And Larry still is amazing because Larry, like, you know how it is in New York? You're nobody, you're a young cook. You're getting your fish delivered at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Larry got on the phone. What the fuck am I going to do with my fish at 1 o'clock? It better be here at 8:30.
Yeah.
Like all of that stuff. Like line cook didn't show up, no problem, get the hell home.
Yeah.
You know, so Larry like
No tolerance,
like this.
Boom.
And I knew my food, so it's like, all right, we can do this.
Yeah.
And then
what was Swedish cuisine at that moment
well,
in time?
I felt it needed to break out from having this sort of like French identity. Like Swedish food, I broke it down to like it's pickling and preserving. We have great seafood. We have incredible game tradition.
Yeah.
Right? And how do you build those blocks up? Like, so it's like I could do seared venison, but like they would do it before, maybe like medium well.
Yeah.
You know, cooked with a butter sauce. And I was like, all right, we can do seared char with an avocado sauce and scallions instead, right? Like much lighter, much more like forward. And I found my ingredients in Chinatown. You know, I wanted water chestnut with that char, not potatoes.
Right.
Like it was like crunchy stuff, you know? And Jan had already started to build that. He's like, you know about Asian pear? I was like, yeah, I know about Asian pear.
Hell, those Asian pears.
And it's like, we didn't really taste it. It's like, okay, but if you pickle that in Swedish pickling, and then you just slice semi-smoked salmon, and I was like, okay, you're under-smoking the salmon. Like, because back in the day, the smoked salmon was lox, like cooked through.
Sure, all the way.
No. Yeah. Let's just do like the Japanese. So John was really messing with these traditions.
Yeah. Is that a la minute, the Japanese style? It would be a raw piece of salmon, you'd cold smoke a la minute?
We did it in the afternoon, and then kind of like seared it up, like tataki.
Okay.
And he's like, let's put that pickle on top of this Japanese Asian pear cube. I was like, whoa. And then let's bring in horseradish. Well, what would happen if we mix avocado, horseradish, and wasabi? Ooh. Now, he was totally open for that, right? Yeah. So I was like, that's the lane we're going to go in.
Yeah.
So we worked really short time together, but he's like, I'm not interested in any of this stuff that is traditional. American palate is not there. It's here.
Yeah.
And he was like meeting a guy it's like Tribe Called Quest. It's like hip hop with jazz, right? Like it's like a different level.
100%.
And Jan saw that, and he's like, if he's doing it, that's where we're going.
Yeah.
you know. So.
And you had a very short time with him.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like his last kind of words of wisdom.
Yeah.
All right. So then, so this restaurant gets dumped on you. You're how old? You're
23.
23 years old, fresh out of Lyon.
And I said to the owner constantly, I can't be the chef, because I was like, Aquavit is the most famous restaurant outside Sweden. Any restaurant, bar none. I was like, I can't be the kid who closed it. That was every day. I was running to work with fear, right?
Yeah.
Like New York used to be this fun place where I was hanging out, I had a shift I could do.
Yeah.
And like none of that.
Yeah.
I was like running in, and I was always late, right?
Yeah.
In my own mind, right?
Of course.
And it's like, I got to go to Sweden and find somebody. It might take a month, it might take 2 months, but I got to go there and find. I said, yeah, please come back soon. Find that guy.
Yeah.
So back and forth. 6 months into it, like, so this happened in January or February. So maybe by June,
Yeah.
I found the guy. I was like, great. I can go back to my schedule. I can be sous chef. I can
I can enjoy New York a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe I got a girl,
Totally.
plans. He said, great. It's going to be you.
Ooh.
I said, what?
I love this.
It's you. And it's like a combo between, he saw that the food was getting better.
Yeah.
Larry was like on me.
On you.
And on the guys. And also the restaurant started to pick up a little bit.
Yeah.
And little by little, I didn't know, because back then I just didn't know. Ruth Reichel started to come to the restaurant. I didn't know this.
Ruth.
You know, and because
Ruthless Ruth.
I didn't even know what food and wine, Bon Appetit. I had no clue about it.
Yeah, you didn't know any of that
none
stuff
of
at that time. Yeah. Well, New York is its own microcosm of critiques, if you will. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of,
yes,
you know that. Right?
Yes. And it's like, you know, and I was like, so September, we got a call, we got reviewed. We're going to get reviewed. I said.
Out of nowhere, right?
I was like, yeah. I was like, what's going to happen now? And I was like, all right, I probably should book my ticket. But then I kind of also felt good. And then like everyone for that week, everyone was like, how the hell don't you know if Ruth Reichel was in the restaurant?
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if Ruth Reichel. How would I know? I just got here.
Yeah.
Well, it's your fault. You should know about it. Okay, it's my fault, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, call my dad. I was like, I'm probably coming home in 2 weeks. But like, you know, never know. My dad was always like, maybe not.
Oh, so you were like, when you heard about that she had been in, you were kind of defeated already.
Yeah.
You were like, we missed her. It's horrible.
Yeah.
We're going to get a bad review. I'm going back home.
But I also felt there's a slight opportunity, because I knew I fixed it. Like, there's a couple of dishes that I knew, this is really good. I used to do this chilled tomato soup with curry leaves.
Yeah.
And I knew about kaffir lime leaves, lemongrass, and I knew they don't know what that is.
Yeah.
And I served that with a little bit of crab. And I grew up with crab, so I knew exactly how to butter it and all that. That was a dish that you cannot eat this and it's not being delicious. I did a seared salmon wrapped with basil and dill in an orange fennel broth.
Yeah.
And I knew that was money. Like, that's like a good
So you had good dishes, but you were just, maybe a little shocked by it, right?
Yeah.
But hey, let's talk about curly leaves real quick.
Yeah.
How great are those?
How great.
I mean, people think curly leaves do not taste like curry. Mm-hmm. It's like a whole different, what would you say curry, like the steeping of curly leaves feels like? It has
a little bit of that scent of curry, but it doesn't taste like it.
Tastes like curry, yeah.
And then it has a little bit of kaffir lime leaf in there too, like that floral note, right?
Yeah.
But then it has this incredible, like, it feels like it's heat, but it's not spicy at all. It just has that.
Yeah, so guys, cook with some curly leaves out there.
That's dope.
All right, so then what happens?
We get 3 stars.
You get 3 stars from the New York Times.
And then I'm the youngest chef ever to get 3 stars.
Ever.
It will never break.
In New York City.
In the history. It will never happen.
You hold the record.
Yeah.
I love that.
You cannot be 23 years old. And I was like...
Not even Paul Liebrandt could beat that.
No. I was like... well, he was probably close.
Yeah, he was close.
So I was like... I was so beat.
Yeah.
But I was also happy. And then I get a contract. And I remember I remember my mom. This is how clueless my family was. I got my contract. And my dad's like, good, so it went well. I was like, yeah, it went well. How much are they going to pay you, Marcus? I was like, $75,000. And my mom's like, how many years do you have to work to get $75,000? Oh. No, Mom, it's 1 year. Take it!
Take it right away.
You're about to fuck this up.
How many years do you have to work? It tells you where you come from, though. Like,
My mom screamed on the phone. I was like, okay.
Sign now.
Yeah.
Looking for your next big event, concert, or culinary adventure? Check out eventsdc.com to see what they're cooking up. But man, that's incredible. 23.
Yeah.
And so how did you react to that?
My life changed. I feel like I've been
your
on
life changed that day, right?
I mean, like, I went from, and now when I see it's happening to my boy Tristan, that just won Top Chef, that worked with me for 10 years, I see like some
good
of the
chef,
guys.
by the way. I judged them in Canada this year. I did the pizza episode.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
And another guy that was in the kitchen those days, Paul Carmichael, he's crushing it right now. He was, Teresi, Richie was in there. All of those guys was the first.
Did for real did she do Top Chef yet?
No, she didn't. But like that first gen of cooks, you go up to CIA, now you're going to hire cooks. Only we get this like band of like John George has already cleaned it out. Daniela cleaned it out.
Oh yeah.
So I get this band of guys, right?
Yeah.
So it's Teresi, Paul Carmichael, and this guy Vinny, and I like my team.
Yeah.
You can throw them anything. I'm like, we're doing tasting menu tonight. Okay,
let's
go.
Yeah.
So those three guys was the core of that team.
Yeah.
And we started tasting menu. We do vegetarian tasting menu. We just went.
You just went for
hard.
broke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like to see Richie doing what he's doing, to see Paul finally get his credit, that's
amazing, right? That's full circle.
Full circle.
And so then how long is the reign at Aquavit for you?
I'm there for like 13 years.
Whoa.
But what broke, I felt once we moved from that super difficult location on 54th Street, because it's a townhouse where the kitchen can leak, and but it's charming. Yeah. Once we moved into more sleeker on 55th Street, my heart was started to get out. We got another 3-star review in the new building. I launched my book. It was great, but like I knew there was time for me to start figuring something else out.
Pushing yourself.
It was.
But were you heading for more stars, or you were looking to do more casual? I mean, like you've done all this stuff in Harlem now, and I want to get to that too. But like, so where do you go from a restaurant like Aquavit?
Yeah.
Like, is it?
It was a lot of things that happened that time. I found my birth father. I was really a kid, right? And then becoming somewhat of a man, and like figuring out what is me as a black chef. How can we change the dynamics here? How come? I know who cooks, and I know it's much more of a Latin, and people of color are more inclusive, but how come there's no stories about this? And I really started to think about all this, living in Harlem.
Yeah.
I was like, well, it's not going to happen unless you do something. You have to like be part of a change. You can't just like be on the sideline on this. So I moved.
Intentional. You got to be super intentional.
You got to be intentional about it, right? So, but I just didn't know, how do you do that? So I have to get off this train, on another train. Like, how do I even do that, right? So I was like, it's time. And eventually...
When you say you found your birth father, you had been separated?
Yeah.
So you had lost each other connection through the mother's death and all that. Oh, wow. And so was that... You had to make an effort to find him? Like, how did that...
I didn't. My sister did everything. I was just cooking.
Yeah.
And my sister's like, I found him.
Yeah.
I said, what do you mean? Well, I found him far enough. I know it's him. We got everything. You got to go. We got to go together.
Wow.
And I was like, well, I'm working. And she's like, you're always working. But like, we got to find a spot when no.
Yeah.
This is big. And like my sisters would like, this is a big deal in your life. You might not get it.
Yeah.
But I need you to do this. And I was like, all right. So I went, and it's the best thing that happened.
Best thing you ever did.
Yeah. But like, you needed to get stopped. We so one tracked when we doing our thing.
Of course. Yeah. You got the blinders on. You're just heading one way. But that must have been a very rewarding, emotional piece of your life,
And it's complicated, right? Because there's 8 other kids.
Yeah.
That all are in need of something, right?
Yeah.
And you can't just... I tell it to adopted kids all the time. If you're not ready to do that, don't do it, because it's not what you think it is, right? It's a whole other world. And if you're not ready to either be supportive of that, you shouldn't do it, because it's the expectations.
It opens up a whole bag.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because so then Aquavit, so it seems like, at that point, who are your big mentors in New York at this point? Is it like Danielle?
I was very fortunate. I got 2. Danielle is like a mentor of mine now, but like I got 2 people that helped me out so much.
Yeah.
One was Charlie Trotter. Early, he came with Pierre Gagné when we were doing all those tasting.
Oh, Pierre Gagné.
Yeah. Trotter said, "Hey, you need help." I was like, "Yes, I'm aware. Yes."
Yeah.
But then he also said, "And I will help you."
Yeah.
And not just leaving me hanging, but like, and then you get a fax, and it's like, oh, we're doing a dinner with this guy called Ferran Adrian. You should be part of it.
Yeah.
I said, oh, go to Chicago.
I'm there.
And he just, every time Trotter came to New York, he ate, he edited my dishes. He sent Chef Matt, that was his number 2. Charlie really saw me and supported me.
Yeah.
And then the other one was Miss Leah Chase from Duke Chase in New Orleans. Like, you know, they've only been in the game for 80 years.
Yeah.
And she was more like, hey, Swedish food is great, but where's your black food? Like,
yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean? Like, no, where's your African roots? I don't see it. I don't taste it.
Yeah.
And she was straight up like, Marcus,
yeah,
what are you doing?
And was that a confusing question for you at that time? Because you're like, hey, like I had
well,
this Swedish background, this, you know,
Leah was just blunt. Leah's just a 70. At that point, maybe she was 70. And
yeah.
And she's like, yo, you're talented. You're not doing this. Do it.
Yeah.
You would find out about yourself. She just asked your aunties just blunt questions. Like,
yeah.
I don't see it. And by the way, you might not like it, but you have to go there. You have to figure this out. You know what I mean? So she's asking chef questions like, I see this is perfect, but I want to know what, I've read about African food. What is it?
Yeah.
She connected me with, you know, like just meaningful people that were in the space and doing African-American cookbooks and, you know, Dr. Jessica Harris. You know, I remember meeting Dr. Jessica Harris back then, and I started to read her books and like identity and all of that stuff. So Leah was massive in that, and always, you know.
Do you feel like you were removed from African American cuisine a little bit because of what you've been doing, and it was kind of like a rediscovering where you come from through food, like all over again a little bit in a way?
I mean, I just had to learn it. And the great thing about living in Harlem is, right, like Harlem has, of course, the Apollos and the Studio Museum and anything in terms of African-American culture. But it also has, better than that, is the people. Because people like, I could ask, people like, I see you searching. Go to Schaumburg and read. Here's a black restaurant that was here that was trying to do high-end food. You should check out their menu. Yeah. Like, I got so much help from cats in Harlem. Like, you know, Dapper Dan is on the corner, and people are around that you can speak to. Yeah. You know, it's like, so it was 6 years between moving to Harlem and opening Red Rooster. But once we were ready to go, I knew I could do it. And I was off a lot too. Like, I was like a year before Red Rooster, I was telling my cooks, the duck dish is not right. Like, all of you guys, when you gotta cook down the skin. It's not cooked down enough. Yeah. I mean, when you eat duck and you looked at, everybody just stopped looking at me, and I was like upset about this duck skin. And you realize you're the idiot. Yeah. No one here asked for duck, and no one here grew up with duck. Yeah. Right? So like, get your protein right. And you're the only one, you keep talking about the skin. Yeah. And that's not going to be the
That's
dish.
the Michelin coming out on you, though. You know,
and that's what I needed to change.
Yeah, yeah.
And the cooks really got me there because, like, you know, like, I didn't grow up with fried chicken. I didn't grow up with collards. Yeah. I had to learn how to eat all that. So it was a good learning part. But, you know, obviously Top Chef helped.
Were you the first chef of your stature to do something like that in Harlem?
Yeah, but the biggest stature is my neighbor, Sylvia. Yeah. She's she's my neighbor. She's like, she cooked for everybody. Yeah. They're only been in business since
But Harlem's like a whole thing now, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, it's a vibe down there.
Oh, of course.
Like, it's huge. Like, people need to, like, people are always going to Brooklyn and other places. I'm like, it's time to go to Harlem, guys.
But we had, you know, when we opened, it was leaving Midtown, but it was also, I won season 2 of Top Chef Master. Yes. Right? And I just got off.
Another show I got kicked off of.
And I just cooked the steak dinner from Obama, right? So like, when we opened the restaurant, it's like, coming from Midtown was one thing. Yeah. But like, the Top Chef Master thing was a huge deal.
Big time.
So the people coming out from cooks, of course, but also like guests were like some downtowners foodies that had eaten with me in Aquavit. A ton of Harlemites just looking at what's happening here. Yeah. Right? So it was this pool and mesh of people in the same room dining that maybe wouldn't have been in the same room, right? And so it was like, this is New York. This is why we all live in New York. Like, it's because of, you want that mashup. Yeah. And it happened nightly in our restaurant. Yeah. So it was all of those wins coming together that made it like, and plus,
it's like the culmination of everything that you done. Yeah.
And Andrew and I, like my partner and I, like Andrew, New Yorker, he has just impeccable taste, and we just worked really hard on, getting the room right, and
Yeah.
we didn't have a lot of money, but we're enough to. And we could call in favors, right? Like I cooked for so many musicians. Like when we opened our supper club, Roberta Flack opened for us, right?
Yeah,
like that's helpful when you can just,
hello,
And the jazz musicians, we cooked for them before. It's like they came.
Yeah.
So all the cool factor was literally the receipts of the 5 years before we opened the restaurant, right? And they all came out.
To support, yeah.
Yeah.
So you won Top Chef. I forgot you had won Top Chef
Yeah.
Masters. Where was that? Where was all that in Iron Chef Superstars? My friend Marcus kicked me off of Iron Chef. I just want to let you guys.
Oh my gosh, sorry.
By the way, no,
sorry.
I deserve it because I made you cook with lake water.
Oh, that's what it was. I know. Yeah. No, I mean, the Top Chef journey was, I didn't get it the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because I was a restaurant chef.
Oh,
and I
yeah.
never cooked on TV. So I was like, what is it? Oh, and you're going to change your mise en place. And by the way, you're plating this. And I was in my restaurant
Mode.
So the first 2 weeks, I was half a point from being kicked off, right?
Yeah.
And they were like, I remember they were like, do you actually want to be, what are you doing? And I'm like, I couldn't execute my restaurant food, right?
Yeah.
Because they took they
took
changed
something, of course.
And and I didn't, because I've never watched,
Yeah.
I've never watched it. I didn't know what this was. And I'm like, I'm still, And then, Gail or Thomas, somebody saved me. And once I got in, I remember it was a couple of days break.
Yeah.
And then Waxman came over to me like, hey.
Oh, Waxman. You gotta love Waxman.
Bro, you're not in the, what are you doing? You're not at the, what are you doing, Marcus?
Just like that, though.
Yeah.
I just like that. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like in disgust.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
what are you doing?
And it's like, let me, like, this is not going to work for you. And I was like, he's right. Yes, chef. And then I got that little break.
Yeah.
And he talked to me.
Yeah.
I'd switch gear.
He put you in gear. Yeah.
And once I came to the semifinal, I knew I would do well.
Yeah. It's funny. Those shows are funny. I mean, they make you jump through hoops a little bit, depending on which one, right? Whether it's Top Chef or Iron Chef, they're all basically somewhat the same. But man, you know what? I love what the show's done for our industry. It's really highlighted our like what we do, and it's not exactly what happens in a restaurant at all, to be honest. But it's at least given us the opportunity, right? It's kind of made us rock stars,
part of pop culture. Who
This is
knew?
it, baby. How did we were dishwashers?
Yes.
What happened to us?
Yes.
Tell me, it's exciting to have you in DC.
I'm so excited.
Right? You've done a bunch of stuff in DC in the past, but not a restaurant, right? This is the first.
So I consulted for the Howard Theater, which was great.
That's right. Yeah.
And then I was part of the MGM opening.
Yeah.
But now we're in proper DC, we're in the Northeast. And, talk about full circle. Like Chef Anthony, there's an executive chef. He's an amazing young chef, Anthony Jones. He was part of opening Red Rooster with us. He was actually Tristan's sous chef. And one day I just told him, he's like, this kid is so talented.
Yeah.
Come with me to New York. He's like, no, chef, I'm from Maryland. I was like, yeah, but you can work in New York. Like a lot of people are not from New York. He's like, no, I'm from the DMV. So if you have something in
the DMV, baby, let's go.
And I was like, first of all, I've never had someone just say straight up no to me.
Yeah.
Like that. One of my cooks, it's like, no. So if you have something in Washington, let me know.
Yeah.
Years, like 3 years, you go by. And I'm like, always checking in with him. I was like, Anthony, I think I found the spot. I need, like, in 6 months, get ready.
Yeah.
He's like, chef, I'm ready.
Oh.
And then we just went for it and just like built everything brick by brick together.
Yeah.
And it's such a pleasure to work with Anthony. Like he is, like this morning, right? He says, I got about 44 boxes of that. I said, that is a very specific number. He's like, yeah, I got you, chef. I want to be ahead of you. I said, you are ahead of me, right? Like, there's very nothing,
specific.
In that kitchen, there's nothing that I know better than him.
Yeah.
In that kitchen, right? Like, it's stacked, it's marked, it's labeled. So this young guy is the oldest guy I know.
Yeah.
He's an old soul. So when we talk about, is the profession gone? Do people care about craftsmanship? Look
you
at Anthony.
You got one. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I love that. So what's the cuisine like? What can DC? Is it open? Is the restaurant open?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, we did. Washington Post just reviewed us last week.
Oh, last week.
Yeah.
How'd it go?
amazing. It could not have gone better.
I'll tell them what they say, what the Washington Post say. You gotta read the article.
The piece is unbelievable.
Yeah.
If we would have written the piece, we would have messed it up.
Yeah.
But it's really about Anthony and Rachel, our pastry chef, and Sophia, the team.
Yeah.
And, like, I wanted to bring sort of a worldlier side, some Swedish, some Ethiopian, because Ethiopia is obviously big here in DC.
Huge here. I was about to say, were you nervous about that a little bit?
No, but I wanted to bring that, and I wanted Anthony to bring the local, right? So there was this back and forth on the menus. Like he made this, broken rice dish. It's called Mel's crab dish, rice. And it's like, he remember back in the day going to the coast, there was this crab stand called Mel's Crab Stand. I said, that's the dish, right? So it's all narratively written around.
On what
food.
coast?
Here on the East Coast.
On the East Coast, yeah.
So it's like everything around DMV, that's Anthony.
He's proud.
Yeah, he's proud.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so we have this back and forth, like now, our summer salad with green strawberries and beautiful tomatoes and just being in season. Like if you roast those, nuts, like the almonds, they're perfectly deep roasted on low heat. Like you don't have to. We don't talk about it. Like we want crunch. It's coming from these two. He lines up 3 different nuts. Which one is it?
Yeah.
He's ready.
He's ready to go.
Yeah.
Oh, that's got to be a pleasure for you to have something
corn.
like that.
Like we don't like the corn. We're in season.
Yeah.
And it's a craft person, and I'm so proud of him. We have a pastry chef, Rachel, as well. She worked 5 years in John George, but she lived in DC for the last 2 years. Like, again, young person.
Those Jean Georges pastry chefs, though, I'll tell you, man.
Yeah.
You can never miss with one of those pastry chefs.
And I feel like, DC's been so nice to us. Like, Angel Barreto from Anjou was one of the first guys that I called, hey, it's DC. No one knows DC better than you. He's like, let me come and do a pop-up. Let me just, host something for you. So he hosted an event like, Marcus, welcome to DC.
Beautiful.
I have this other line cook I used to work with back in the day. Cherise, also local caterer here.
Yeah.
She's like, me and Angela are going to host this thing. You don't know what you're doing. We got it. So just getting that love.
Yeah.
I'm like, I remember eating at Albi. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. That food was good.
Whoa.
He's on fire right now.
And I needed that. So Michael's really.
Yeah, we're gonna get him in here soon. But he's on fire.
Yeah, but it was so good because it made me okay, it's at this level. Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Now I know.
Yeah.
And it's like it made me go back and really reinvest.
The DC's at this level? Is that what you mean, or just?
No, it's just I was so impressed with both La Chukran and Albi, and La Chukran obviously different beat.
Definitely.
But both of them, I was like, okay, Anthony, stop.
Yeah.
We got to level up.
Level it up.
And it changed really our approach. We opened the rooftop first.
Yeah.
I thought, let's get everything kinked up here, like just rooftop food, very simple. We can have a crab cake here. We can have our just boom.
So there's a rooftop lounge for people.
Yeah.
So there's a beautiful rooftop. What hotel is it at?
It's called the Morrow Hotel in the Northeast.
Yep.
It's a beautiful rooftop, very straightforward, coastal food. And then you come down to the restaurant, which it's really a thing. It's really beautiful and open kitchen and big bar and great bar program.
Yeah, Wifey and I are going to come. We're gonna I'm starving now already.
And it's just like last night, like at 10 o'clock, people still was coming, and I was like, it's midweek in July, and I looked at Anthony, hey, chef, we're doing this, you know? And he's like, yeah, man.
But so why DC though? Like, what? Like, is it? Because listen, you've had political ties to the past presidents. And,
not anymore.
Not,
something changed.
You have political ties to the current president right now. Tell us about it. Tell us about your big, beautiful menu that you just launched.
That's good.
But the other part of you is like you're an amazing entrepreneur. I mean, you've popped up everywhere. I mean, I think I've been in like the Bahamas. I've seen your restaurant before. Bermuda. Did you have a place in Bermuda?
Yeah.
You did, right?
Yeah.
I remember
before
that.
The pandemic,
Yeah, right before I got arrested, I went to your restaurant in Bermuda. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I love it.
And you're all over. How do you? what do you do to keep your cool? Like, I remember you on Iron Chef. I was like, fuck, Marcus Samuelsson. He's like up at 5 o'clock in the morning and he's running to a farmer's market. Yeah. I felt like a horrible human being. I was like, what am I doing with my life in the morning? Are you running? Are you like, what are you?
Well, now with the kids, what I love about the kids, they just put you in a check and it takes you elsewhere.
Yeah.
And it requires full attention, right? So, my wife and my kids have given me a like I only was in food. That was the only thing.
Yeah.
And that's not small, like it's a big world. I really enjoyed it, but with Zai and Grace and Maya, it really made me think when we think about getting on a plane. I measure everything against, when I'm getting back home, right? And before, when you didn't have a measuring against that, you could just jump on a plane and do it.
You want to do.
Yeah, do whatever, right? As long as the restaurant's good, I could do it, And that's the biggest balance. And like, just sometimes when we opened this restaurant, we did that event. New kitchen on the blocks. Zion was down cooking with me, right? It was so much fun.
How old?
He's 9 now, but like
the same age.
Yeah. So just in there, and he tested all this, tried all these. There's a Thai grill down there. It's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, I might not like this dish, but I like that one. And they gave me an extra piece of lamb, and I'm like, yeah, that's what this is, the community, And I was like, you don't have to like everything. You just have to taste it,
Totally.
It's a good moment.
Has that I find this business funny because, you mentioned your dream was to be a soccer player and your heart was broken back in the day. And one of mine was to be like a film producer. I wanted to produce documentaries and films. But it's funny how food, I've seen it many times in my career, has brought me back to a lot of the things I wanted to do, just to like dip in and participate.
Yeah.
Did anything come, did you play soccer on the field? Like, did anything come out of soccer eventually? Like,
so we do a ton of stuff with NYCFC.
Yeah.
Right. Actually, in a couple of weeks, there's a match between Ethiopia's national team and DC United. I'm flipping the coin for that.
You are? Oh, so there you go.
I have, when anytime the Premier League guys soccer players are in town, I'm cooking for them.
Right.
And it's like, we've had the Man City, Champions League trophy in the restaurant with the guys with the gloves and everything.
Well, this is what I'm talking about, right? It's food has a way of bringing everything back to life, that has to feel fun. That has to be fun. Are you on the pitch ever playing?
I used to. I remember the moment when I quit.
Yeah.
I was like,
I'm done.
42. And this wonderful kid, maybe 22, 23, he elbowed me, right? And I was like, I'm good. And then he just grabbed for me and said, I'm so sorry, sir. I was like, I don't need your hand. I can get up by myself.
I'm so sorry, sir.
I was like, I'm done. This is it. I'm done.
Marcus, listen, I know you're busy, man. I know you gotta.
We can sit here for a long time.
We can sit here forever. I'll have you back. I mean,
this
is what's fun about this podcast. We definitely repeat, but tell people, what they have to look forward to, like where they can find you. Yeah. I know we didn't really get to cover too much of your charitable contributions because you do so much, but well,
CCAP is really the charity that I love.
Tell them about that.
It's very similar, Careers for Culinary Arts, where, we're in 9 states now, started by Richard Grossman, just like DC Central Kitchens, like chefs got on early and, we work with inner city high school kids. We give them scholarship to go to culinary school, and now when they come back out, they have jobs with us, right? And now we have restaurants owner, we have Psalms coming out of that program. It's been an amazing journey to be part of.
Is there a website for them?
CCAP.org, and it's amazing, and they do great work. I've been part of it for a very long time. Obviously, Instagram, I'm on MarcusCooks, but come and see Anthony.
I follow him, you follow him, and go see Anthony.
Go and see Anthony.
Yeah.
It's just,
is Anthony living his best life right now? He's got to feel good, huh?
And he's not going, he is DC, he's here. He's not going anywhere. It's like, I feel like with Angel Barreto, like DC saw a chef coming up with his concept, right?
Yeah.
Anthony's he's here.
He's the guy. It's his time.
It's his time, exactly.
Well, you guys, listen, you heard it from Marcus. Go see Anthony at the new restaurant, Marcus at the Morrow.
Yeah.
What's the name come from?
Marcus DC, and that's it.
Oh, okay.
Or the restaurant, the rooftop is called Sly.
Yeah.
Which is fun, and Sly.
What do you got for the rest of the day? Where are you heading to?
I'm actually doing a demo for Washington Post right now, right after this.
Oh, nice.
So we're doing a fun summer dish, and hopefully then get home to see the kids.
Beautiful. You're living in Harlem still?
Yeah. No, of course. The kids
keeping it nice and tight, baby.
Yeah.
Well, listen, it's been amazing to have you on the podcast.
Congrats for
Always
this.
fun, of course. Appreciate it. And that's all, guys. That's what we got today.
That's beautiful. Thanks.
A huge thank you to our title sponsor, Events DC, the official convention and sports authority for the district and a key player in making some of DC's most exciting events and experiences happen. From world-class sports to cultural festivals and everything in between, they help power the energy of the city. Check out eventsdc.com to see what they're cooking up. A shout out to our broadcast home, DC Central Kitchen, for not just feeding people, but fueling real change. If you want to support their mission or get involved, head to dccentralkitchen.org. You can catch up on past episodes or subscribe for new ones at intheweedspod.com or on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. The kitchen may be closed for now, but the conversation is still sizzling on our Instagram at intheweeds.pod. So come and join us there. That is a wrap on this shift. See you back in the weeds next time.